Yes. People, what's going on? CL Talks Football. We're back again with another video, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. What do I have to say after a result like that? Arsenal were in cruise control, full control, before Bournemouth came out of absolutely nowhere and scored two set-piece goals to stun us at the Emirates, to turn it around from 1-0 in a comfortable position and to absolutely collapse within a space of, what was it, 10 minutes, 12 minutes? I forget. Was it under, it was under 10 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Between the 60 something mark to the 70 something mark, we completely just messed up, gave them two set pieces, and they scored from both of them. And you got to give it up to Bournemouth. They're pushing for European hopes themselves. They're pushing to try to get into the European spots. They're trying to get either Conference League or Europa League for the first time in their club's history. And Arsenal today, we're in full control. Everything was in our hands. Fully, the game, everything about the first half was just perfect. Declan Rice was playing well. Martin Odegaard was playing well. The players were linking up. The first 35, 40 minutes was just scintillating. I didn't feel stressed at all. But then what happened? Set pieces, something that we've been saying has been our strength, defending and scoring, has become a problem. They need to take a look at themselves, because today, the two goals could have easily been resolved. And these are the kind of games where you realize you miss Gabriel Magalhaes. Defensively, in those set pieces, he helps out so much. He is one of the key reasons why we're so good in the air, offensively and defensively. And today, it was just nothing in those set pieces. What's it called? Dean Huyson, or however you say his name, Huyson, just literally beat everyone to the ball. Nobody was even in the air by the time he headed it in. And then the second goal, honestly, I don't even know what to say about the second goal. It was kind of shaky. The second goal was kind of shaky. Poor defending from a set piece once again. And Bournemouth beat Arsenal. And I didn't know this going into this game. I thought Champions League football was pretty much done and dusted. I thought Champions League football for Arsenal was pretty much sorted. I did not think Mikel Arteta would have played a team this strong, because the team we lost with was not a shit team. Bro, the team we lost with today was not a shit team. This was pretty much full strength, bar Timber. Bar Timber and Mikel Moreno, this team was full strength. There's really no excuse to throw it away the way that we did. And to make matters worse, we conceded the first goal with Declan Rice on the pitch. So relatively first team on the pitch for the first goal. And the second goal, no one else really got subbed off before the second goal went in. We can't complain about anything. This was not good enough. But we can all make matters right by going and winning on Wednesday. That's the truth. We can go and make everything right by going and winning on Wednesday. The reason why, to start the game, people were saying it was stupid to put out this lineup is because regardless what you guys say about Champions League, this lineup was way too strong for this game. We should not have put out this type of lineup. We should have maybe rotated. Maybe we would have seen a worse performance. But regardless, we would have these guys rested, ready to go for PSG. Now we're gonna have a bunch of guys who played pretty much 90 minutes. Almost majority of these guys are gonna start. Like Kivior Saliba, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Raya, Partey, Odegaard, Saka, all played pretty much almost 90 minutes. Saka came off 86 minutes. Declan Rice came out 74 minutes. That's the first thing I got to say. Arteta, you put out a really strong team. At least go and get the job done, guys. We put out a really strong team in this game. We should at least get the job done. But not only did we put out a strong team, luckily nobody got injured. That's what we have to really come out of this game and say. And on top of that, he brought in Mikel Moreno off the bench to try to secure the victory. Couldn't do it. Really, really disappointing. But in the grand scheme of things, the main reason why this was done, we got to look at the league table. And it's not about Man City on our necks. No, it's about the fact that from a comfortable position, from a comfortable Champions League position, we now find ourselves in a situation where, look at this. Newcastle win their next game. They will be 2 points behind us. Man City win their next game. They will be level on points with us. Arsenal play Liverpool next at Anfield. We could easily go and lose that game and find ourselves in a situation where in a week from now, we will be potentially sitting in fourth. Yes, Arsenal Football Club, who's been comfortably in second the entirety of the season, could be sitting in fourth. But you know what? It's not all doom and gloom, because you know what? We can go and win two of our last three games, or get a draw and win one of our last three games, and Champions League is secured. We only need 4 more points to secure Champions League. But does it really matter? My main goal this season is to go and win the competition that we're left in. We coming in second or coming in first, that is all that matters. Coming in second, third, fourth, does it really matter if we come in third or fourth if we go on to win the Champions League? Now, if we don't go on to win the Champions League and we get knocked out of everything, the season's already a failure. Let's call it as it is. The season's already a failure if we don't go on to win the Champions League. So that's why all our eggs are in the basket of trying to get the job done on Wednesday. That is everything. That is all that matters. Going out there on Wednesday and getting the job done. That is all that matters. All the other stuff, all the hoopla, all the yelling, screaming, everything else don't mean shit. The reality situation is, before the game, you guys were agreeing with me that this lineup was way too strong. I can't believe the fact that Manchester City and Newcastle are this close to us this late in the season. I thought we were too far gone. But a couple draws, a bunch of poor results, a loss now, and boom, there you have it. There you have it. There you have it. I personally do not know what to say about our recent form. Our recent form has been shocking. But is it because we've been only focusing on the Champions League? Could it just be the end of season worries are back, or is this just down to the fact that we've been focused on the Champions League? Because we beat we beat PSG on Wednesday. Best believe none of you guys give a shit what happened today. Best believe none of you guys here care about Arsenal losing to Bournemouth in this game if we get to the Champions League final. The number one goal right now is to get to the Champions League final. Get through these games, get to the Champions League final. If we do not get to the Champions League final, then we can have conversations about other things. At this moment in time, the number one thing this club needs to focus on is winning on Wednesday. Now, it sucks that we went and played a full-strength team and we lost, and we're going to continue to discuss this, but the performance and everything else can be spoken about on another day. Right now, I don't think we're going to carry today's performance into the game versus PSG. We're going to play completely different. We're going to have a situation where we're going to be seeing the Timber is probably going to be back in the team. You're going to have Mika Moreno up top. The midfield of Odegaard, Partey, and Rice looked really solid for majority of the game. I'm not too concerned. I do think there is some concerns though, and one of those concerns is the captain, Martin Odegaard. Once again, he got an assist. He set up the opening goal. He started well, but in the final third, once again, just falling over his feet, being poor in the final third, and just our counterattacks and our ability to execute in the final third has been poor for majority of the season. We need to shape that up. We need to get that going. We need to get that together versus PSG. And I know what you guys are going to say. You guys are all going to say, you can't beat PSG like this. Well, need I remind you some of our results going into the game versus Real Madrid? A 1-1 draw versus Everton going into the game versus Real Madrid. A 1-1 draw versus Brentford going into the game versus Real Madrid. Going back to the PSV results, a 0-0 draw versus Nottingham Forest, and we beat PSV 7-1. And a 1-1 draw versus Manchester United, and we went and beat PSV 2-2. Your form in the league does not impact your form in the Champions League. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. You guys need to understand that. You need to understand that our form in those competitions do not impact our form in the other competitions. Just look at these. Look at this. 3-0 win just before that 1-1. 1-1 draw just after that 2-2 right there. It doesn't really change you too much. Like, I am not too concerned. And we can go through it and see a majority of our performance throughout the season just before big games of the Champions League. Like, we drew 1-1 to Fulham, we go and slap Monaco 3-0. And I remember people were saying they're worried about the Monaco game. We friggin' We lost to Newcastle and then lost to Inter. Fair. That was one poor result. We had a shaky performance versus Leicester. I remember we went and go and slapped PSG 2-0. Now, I'm more focused on the main issue, guys. The main issues are some of these talking points we need to discuss. And the first one is, of course, Champions League football. We will get it. It's not the end of the world. Don't need to. I don't think people need to panic. I don't think people need to panic. But the main issue was Arteta went too strong for this game for us to lose. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is Declan Rice. Declan Rice continuing to showing his improvement in the final third. I know we lost the game. I know we did. But it's his 100th appearance. He got a goal. He stepped up. Declan Rice today stepped up and he showed what he's made of. Now, before we go any further, shout out to Jaden. You look at you copying. Look at your face. Look at you coping. Look at your face. It's over. Arteta is not good enough. PSG is not Real Madrid. PSG is better than this washed Madrid. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. I know what you guys are saying. I hear it. You guys are saying PSG is better than Madrid. Madrid is not a unit. They're not a good constructed team. Whatever you guys say, I don't want to hear it because the reality is we have to block out the outside noise and we have to go into this game believing we can go and get the win and not only get the win, but get a 2-goal margin to not have to go to overtime or extra time. Because you go to penalties with against Donnarumma, you're asking for trouble. You're asking for trouble. But Jaden, fair play. That's your opinion. A lot of people think PSG is going to do one over us in the next game. I disagree. I think we can do it. I think we can get the job done. Away at Paris is going to be difficult, but 1-goal lead is not insurmountable. We can get a job done with that 1-goal lead. It's not the end of the world. 1 goal is not the end of the world, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep it 100. But yeah, moving on from that. So yeah, I just wanted to say Declan Rice getting his goal, opening the goal on his 100th appearance. I can't believe Declan Rice has already had 100 appearances also. What a performance he had in that first half before everything else. And you know what? Chelsea, Kepa Arrizabalaga might be your best goalkeeper. Your best goalkeeper might be at Bournemouth. Chelsea's best goalkeeper might be at Bournemouth. But yeah. Next, the growing concerns about set pieces. We've conceded so many goals this season from set pieces and long throws and just people getting the ball into the box. Like, we need to do better. We need to do better. The joke is that Arsenal have a set piece king or the set piece kings, but this season, you got to look at Nicolas Jover and be like, yo, you're taking a wage cut for those poor performances defensively. And the fact that Gabriel's been out, we scored from a set piece last week, but we've now conceded from 2. We conceded from 1 last week also. So in the last 2 games in the Premier League, we've conceded 3 set piece goals. It's not looking good defensively. We got to be better defensively in these kind of games. And yeah, you know something? We could finish outside of the top 2 spots in the Premier League. But it's not about Man City or Newcastle. At this point, it's about just trying to get the Champions League. But if we get out of the Champions League and we finish outside of second, I know everyone's going to be on everybody's case, but it's not about coming in second. It's about how far you are from first. And the fact that we're so far away from first should be the main thing we should be focused on. Not coming in second, not coming in third, not coming in fourth. Who cares? The reality is you should be aiming for that number 1 spot, and you shouldn't really care where you finish outside of that as long as you get Champions League football. It's not determined based on where you finish. It's determined based on your coefficient, how you're going to be seated next season. So it's not the end of the world, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, people saying I'm coping. People saying they don't believe what I'm saying. People saying I'm deluded. People saying I'm accepting failure. Whatever you say, I respectfully disagree with you guys. Respectfully, in the nicest way possible. I'll disagree with you guys. But hey, let's get into the Arsenal player ratings. Talk to me. Arsenal player ratings. Is it one of those games where it's tough to rate these guys? Is it one of those games where it's tough to give out actual ratings to some of these guys? because the performance was just so like hot and cold. Let me start with the goalkeeper, David Raya. Stop playing right center back. Can you stop playing right center back, David Raya? You have very sloppy moments. Almost gave away a sloppy goal once again, similar to how we did last week versus Crystal Palace. And Arteta, can you stop instructing David Raya to play right center back? Like, this is not friggin' Manchester United when we call it, Barthez used to play and do a mad thing. Let's stop doing the madness. Next, Ben White. He provided some good overlapping runs. Ben White. I give. By the way, I give David Raya a 6. No, I'll give David Raya a 5. Ben White didn't look his best. I'll give him a 5. I'll give him a 5.5. Solid performance, not the best. 6. I'll give him a 6. Saliba. Saliba's brilliant. Great clearance at the end too. I'll give Saliba a solid 7. Kivior. Steady Eddie. Didn't really do much wrong. Didn't really have any questions. Although the 2 goals were questionable for the set pieces, I'm not really going to fault him too much for that. What am I going to say? I'll give Kivior a 6. I'll give Kivior a 6. I thought Miles Lewis-Skelly was unbelievable though. I thought Miles Lewis-Skelly was playing line-breaking passes. He looked really solid. I'll give Miles Lewis-Skelly a 7. Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey is going to get a 4. No, I'm joking. Thomas Partey, you guys know, everyone says I have a Thomas Partey agenda and everything else. He did not look bad at all in the first half. Second half, the whole team kind of looked off it. I'll give Thomas Partey, I'll line him up with everybody else and give him a solid 5.56. No, I'll give him a 6. Not 5. I'll give him a 5. Declan Rice was the only player who gets a 7 or 8, gets more than a 7. Declan Rice gets an 8. Martin Odegaard, poor once again, although he gets the assist. So I guess he gets extra points for the assist. I'll give him a 6 for that. Quiet game from Bukayo Saka. His best chances came from headers. He's not really good at scoring goals with his head, and he needs to improve on that. Had some dangerous moments, but overall was quiet, kept quiet, to be fair. Overall, I'll give him a solid 5. 6. I'll give him a 6. Leandro Trossard is the guy who gets a 5. What did Leandro Trossard really offer? Every time he gets on the ball, it kind of seems like he takes too many touches and makes too many mistakes. Kind of messes up the game for us. So I don't really rate that. I'll give him a 5. Martinelli finally uses his pace. Finally using his pace for a couple seconds. Looked a little bit better. I'll give Martinelli a 6 also. So not too many players getting good ratings today. Of course, we lost the game, and then the players who came on didn't come on for too many minutes, in my opinion, to give them ratings. Mikel Moreno being Ethan, Sterling. What's the point of Sterling actually? And Zinchenko. But yeah, overall fair play. You give Bournemouth their credit, and you say to yourself, how do you throw away that game? Very sloppy. And overall, win, lose, draw. All that matters is we go and get the job done versus PSG. I'm not going to sit here and complain about their second goal Bournemouth had. I'm not going to complain about VAR. I'm not going to complain about the possible handball, although it is a possible handball, and you guys should see the footage, as it does look like a potential handball. But fair play, VAR looked at it. They said it's not a handball. I'm not going to complain. Overall, Arsenal were not good enough this season in the league, and we have an opportunity to go and do something unthinkable in the Champions League. Until that game is over and PSG have won, I will believe my team can go and get the job done. These players believe, the manager believes, and today's performance does not knock their confidence at all. That's all I got to say. I'm going to leave you guys there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Some of you guys call me deluded. Some of you guys call me optimistic. Some of you guys understand where I'm coming from. Regardless where you stand. As an Arsenal fan, we have to believe the team can go and get the job done versus PSG on Wednesday. If you don't even turn up. If you don't believe the team can get the job done, don't even turn up. Just don't. What's the point? But I believe the team can do it. I believe the team will do it. And we will have to go and find a way by any means necessary. Hey, anyways, that's it for today. Let me know what you guys think. And you guys love to turn up when we lose. But when we win, I better see some of you guys here. But yeah, Hamza and those Man City fans bragging about being a couple points behind us, shameless. They used to brag about being on the same points as us. They used to brag about winning league titles. Now they're bragging about being a couple points behind us. Standards have changed, eh? Standards have changed. Also, do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button on your way out, guys, if you haven't already done so. And what is left that we need to talk about? Yeah, I'm gonna head over to the football terrace. So go check it out. Go check it out over there, guys. Yeah, people are just gonna keep calling me deluded. I don't really care. That's my opinion. I'm gonna continue to give you my opinion. And if you guys don't like it, all you can do is tell me why. Anyways, I'm out of here, people. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace. You already know what it is. Let's end the stream.